弟兄姐妹大平安。
May peace be with all my brothers and sisters.
很感谢神很快的又过了一个星期，又是进入安息，一起来聚会拜神，愿主耶稣祝福带领。
And thank God another week had quickly passed and that we have all entered into God's rest.
今天晚上呢，要用主我的神啊，你真伟大做题目，跟大家来查考诗篇104诗篇。
And tonight we'd like to study Psalm chapter 104 with the topic, "O Lord my God, you are very great," for mutual encouragement.
这是我们读经进入诗篇104篇。
And this is according to our Bible reading schedule, Psalm 104.
这篇诗篇呢非常特殊，因为它跟创世纪第1章是互相对照，来歌颂神创造的这个荣耀。
And the psalm is very unique because it correlates to Genesis chapter 1 about God's creation.
这篇诗篇也是在歌颂神创造的经典之作。
And the psalm is to praise the sovereign Lord, and it is one of the best works.
就好像诗篇103篇在歌颂神所给我们的恩典也是经典。
And just like Psalm 103, it is about praise for the Lord's mercies, and it is also one of the best works in this regard.
诗篇103篇在论到大卫他的内心的世界。
And Psalm 103 describes how David feels inside.
他对他的心一再的呼吁说，一定要称颂神。
And in his heart, he calls out his praises to the Lord.
不可以忘记他的一切恩惠。
Not to forget all his mercies.
他从他的心里面这样来敬畏这位救他生命的神。
And from the bottom of his heart, he praises the God who saved him.
他整个103篇全部都是在美神的恩典。
And entire Psalm 103, he is praising of God's mercies.
完全没有任何的祈求或其他的内容。
And there is no request that he petitioned to God.
所以103篇是从他的内心里面来颂赞神的伟大以及神的救恩。
So Psalm 103 is David's praise and his thanksgiving for all God's mercies.
104篇他一开始没有写是哪一作者。
In Psalm 104, in the beginning, it did not give the name of the author.
但是我们可以从整篇的诗篇看到，他是从这个他所生长环境这个自然界里面去观察，然后他得到一个很重要的结论：我的心啊，你要歌颂神。
But from the entire psalm, you can see that the psalmist praises the Lord from the perspective of the natural realm, and the key is to bless the Lord, O my soul.
是用非常生动的描述来叙述神的伟大，以及人在神面前应当要有的态度。
And it uses very vivid description to tell us that God is very on high and that we need to worship Him.
那所以他一开头104篇没有写作者是谁。
So even though it did not state the name of the author in the beginning,
但是按照诗篇的查考，一般普遍认为，如果这一篇诗没有特别署名是谁，那么作者有可能就是前一篇作者原系。
But when studying the book of Psalm, many people think that when the name of author is not stated, you look at the one before.
所以104篇很有可能也是大卫的诗。
And so it is very possible that Psalm 104 is also a psalm of David.
因为从他描述103篇跟104篇这两篇诗，它的每一篇的开头跟结尾都是同一个结构。
Because if you look at Psalm 103 and 104, it has the same structures in the beginning.
就是一开头都是说我的心啊要称颂神。
In the beginning it states, "Bless the Lord, my soul."
最后一节也都是说我的心啊要称颂神。
And both psalms in the last verse is the same.
所以这样看来呢，应该作者很有可能是大卫。
So from this, we have the conclusion that it's very possible it's David.
那如果不是大卫，那在圣经里面另外一个可能的人物就是所罗门王。
And if it is not David, another possible person is Solomon.
因为从104篇整个篇幅，他对这个神的作为的描述，以及他对神的创造认识的深入程度看来，如果不是大卫，那应当就是所罗门 不会有问题的。
Because from the description of Psalm and the deep understanding of God that this author has, if it is not David, then it is very possible that it's Solomon.
但是我们现在不管他是谁，我们就知道这一个作者他对神的创造有极深刻体会。
But disregard to who the author is, the main point is that the author has a very deep understanding of God.
他在从他的心里面自我提醒说，他一定要来好好的来歌颂赞美这位神。
And from the bottom of his heart, he reminds himself he must praise the Lord.
那他要对这个创造万物的真神发出颂赞之外，他也要所有的人跟他一起来赞美。
He must praise the Lord who created heaven and the earth and everything that's in it, and everyone must also praise along with him.
那他所歌颂的内容就包含了神用这6天来创造宇宙万物。
And the description includes God's creation in the 6 days.
以及神用他全能、用的恩惠来托住万有，来养育今生。
And how God uses His power, His mercy, and His authority to take care of everything that is on earth.
如果没有神留我们的命如果他把他的气收回去，那人就灭亡了。
And without God, and if God takes away our breath, then we are nothing.
那如果神把他的手收起来了，那这个世界也就灭亡了。
And if God pull back His hand, then everything that are created will be destroyed.
所以这一篇诗呢，104篇呢很特殊，我们要来从里面来思考它里面给我们的教训，以及我们应当要学习的功课。
And so Psalm 104 is a very unique psalm, and we must study this and learn from it.
在整个诗篇150篇里面有一类别的诗叫做创造诗，就是在歌颂的诗篇。
An entire Psalms 150, there is a series called the Psalms of Creation.
就是诗篇第8篇。
It is Psalm 8.
诗篇第19篇。
19.
29篇。
29.
65篇。
65.
104篇。
And 104.
139。
And 139.
147、148。
147 and 148.
这几篇诗篇呢，基本上都在描述神他的创造。
And all these psalms is to describe God's creation.
但是唯独104篇特别详细。
But only Psalm 104 is the most detailed.
因为它跟创世纪第1章是对照的。
Because it correlates with Genesis chapter 1.
表示这个作者他特意要让世人再次的用去感受神的创造，可是他这一次是用诗人的写法的描述来颂赞神奇妙的创造。
So the psalmist want all the readers once again to experience God's creation, and he is using the perspective of a psalmist.
我们现在看104篇第1节。
And let's look at Psalm 104, verse 1.
第1节说：“我的心你要称颂神主我的神你为至大。”你以尊荣威严为衣服。
Verse 1, Bless the Lord, O my soul, O Lord my God, you are very great. You are clothed with honor and majesty.
这一节就跟创世纪第1章第1节起初神创造天地是对照的。
And this correlates with Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created heaven and the earth.
这个神当王的是极威严的。
And this God, who is a king, is clothed with honor and majesty.
神就是自有拥有的。
And God is omniscient.
所以他是自己有，因为有。
He is.
I am who I am. 他是自己存在的啦，自存的。
He is forever there. He is the I am.
所以他现在一开头就在定义这位神是谁。
And so in the beginning, the author tells us who God is.
你是至大的，就是你是独一的，没有其他的可以跟你比的了。
And he states, "Great, and you are incomparable to anything else."
他是用威严、尊荣做衣服穿戴的。
And you are clothed with honor and majesty.
那这衣服代表他的身。
And this cloth that he wears represent his status.
他的威严在诗篇93篇第一节呢，这样说他是做王的。
And in Psalm 93, it explains that majesty because he is a king.
93篇第1节。
Psalm 93.
神作王，他以威严为衣穿上啊，主以能力为衣，以能力束腰，也就坚定不得动摇。
Verse 1, The Lord reigns, he is clothed with majesty, the Lord is clothed, he has girded himself with strength, surely the world is established so that it cannot be moved.
那这位神是从亘古就有，就是他是自己存在，永远存在神。
And this God was established from of old, and he is of everlasting.
那从第2节开始呢，104篇第2节开始呢，他就要描述神的创造了。
And starting from Psalm 104 verse 2, the description of God's creation.
那因为这篇跟创世纪第1章很像啊。
Because this is very similar to Genesis chapter 1.
我们现在看创世纪第1章。
Let's look at Genesis chapter 1.
我们先复习一下神怎么样用6天来创造这个世界。
And let's review how God created this world in 6 days.
那这一些那个创造呢，应该我们要背的才对，
And that we
记住才对
should
了。
memorize God's creation.
那大部分的这个学生应该都会记得，
And most RE students know this.
但年纪大的这年长的弟兄姐妹可能就记不起来了。
But maybe when we get older, we forget.
但是我们如果常常看，我们就会有印象，到底神是怎么创造这个奇妙的世界的。
But if we read this often, then we will have a clear memory of how God created
创世
the
纪第1
world.
章的第2节，
Genesis chapter 1 verse 2.
他在说当时候地是空虚混沌，也神的灵运行在水面上。
The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep.
表示说，这个时候是在神开始说有光之前，那个世界的样子就是空虚混沌，没有形态的。
And this is how the earth looked like before God said that let there be light. It was without form and void.
那神的灵运行在水面上，神的灵运行，意思就是神的灵像这个母鸡在孵蛋一样，把它整个这个烟面黑暗的世界把它罩住了，这样子。
And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the water, and it's likened to a hen laying egg that has covered everything.
所以在这里，其实我们有很多东西是未知的。
And so at this time, there's still a lot unknown.
第一个，什么时候神创造水，我们不知道。
First, when created water.
为什么一开头是这样子空虚混沌，
And
烟
why
幕黑暗
is it
的？
that in the beginning the earth was without form and void?
表示说，当中从第1节到第2节这个过程里面，一些事情发生的是我们人不需要知道的。
So that means between verse 1 and verse 2, there are some things that have happened that men do not need to know.
因为起初神创造天地，就在定义了这一切都是受造的。
Because in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, and He has set everything in His place.
然后在人还没有出现以前，这个神所创造的这个天地曾经发生的事情。
And before man was created, there were things that have happened at the beginning.
好，那所以这个在说明了我们今天这个看得见的物质世界呢，是从神来的。那还有肉眼不见的属灵的世界，也是神创造的。那发生什么事情，只有神知道了。
And it's explained that the material world and the spiritual world was created by God.
那这当中，很显然，这当中一定有什么事情发生。
And it is obvious that something has happened in between.
那到第3节开始，
And in verse 3,
在这个空虚混沌的这样的一个，我们可以说这个世界吧。他说，神说有光就有光。
in this 3, when the earth was without form and void, God said, let there be light.
所以第1天的创造就是神用他的话说有光就有光，把暗跟光昼跟夜把它分开的。
So on the first day of God's creation, God using His words said light, and that is why there is day and night.
那这个光是神的光，不是太阳光。
And this light is the light of God, not the light from the sun.
那神本来就是光。
Because God is light.
那这个是把光跟暗分开。
And on the first day, God divided the light from the darkness.
光来了就把暗赶走了是这样的意思。
And when light came, it cast away darkness.
第2节从第
And starting from verse 6
到第8节，
to verse 8,
这是第2天的创造。
this is the second day of God's creation.
第6节说，诸水之间 将水分为上下。
And verse 6 says, Let there be firmament in the midst of the waters.
第7节，神就造出空气。
And that God made the firmament.
那这个空间呢，就把水分上下两个部分。
And divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above.
在两个水的中间，这个叫做天。所以第8节说，神称空气为天，有晚上有早晨的第2日。
And between that it is called sky, and that is why there is evening and morning.
所以基本上第一天就是有所谓的空气，有这个空间，我们看到这个天出现。
So that is why there is the sky and there's a space in between.
从第9节开始，
And starting
到第13节，
to verse 13,
在讲第3天的创造。
God explains the third day of God's creation.
神要说，第9节，天下的水聚在一处让旱地露出来。
And verse 9, God said, Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place.
第10节，这个旱地称为地了，
And verse 10, the dry land is called earth.
水聚集的地方称为海。
And the gathering together of the waters he called seas.
所以第3天开头就是有地有海。
And at the beginning of the third day, there is sea and land.
然后从第11节，在这
And
个
verse 11,
就创造出各种青草跟菜蔬植物了。
Let the earth bring forth grass and herb that yields seed, and the fruit trees that yield fruits according to its kind.
那这些地上长的这些青翠的植物，神看的是好的。
And everything that grew on earth, God saw it was good.
所以第3天就出现了这些旱地以及这里面的青翠的植物。
So on the third day, there is dry land and grass and herb that yields
第
seed.
4天从4节到19节，
On the fourth day, from verse 14 to 19,
神在这一天里面创造出天上的这些光体。
God created the lights.
这是里面有第4节说，天上要有光体，可以分昼夜，做记号，定节令，日子年岁。
In verse 14 it says, Let there be lights in the firmaments of the heavens to divide the day and night, and let them be signs and seasons.
15节说要发光在天空，要普照地上。
15, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heavens to give light on the earth.
所以神造了
And so God created lights,
那这个星体很多了。
and there are many lights.
然后到第16节，
And in verse 16,
于是神造2个大光，大管昼，小的管夜。
God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night.
然后又造了众星，
And he made the stars also.
把这些光就摆在普照在地上。
And so God set these lights in the sky.
那这些光体就来管理昼夜，分别明暗。
And these lights rule over the day and over the night.
神看的是好的，
And God saw that it was good.
这是第4天。
And this was the fourth day.
我们从这几节圣经，我们就看出，其实是现在很多科学家在研究这个宇宙的起头这个很多银河系各种星体它的形成，以及我们对照地球、太阳、月亮那个年岁，其实这个在神的创造里面都已经说明了。
And we know that many scientists have tried to study the beginning of the earth, all that is in the sky, and all the constellation, and how they were formed.
其实，今天以人的智慧要去了解这个宇宙有多大，是怎么起源的，是永远没有答案的。
And today, if we use the knowledge of man to understand this, we will never receive an answer.
因为宇宙之广大，远超过我们人的智慧所能及。
Because God's wisdom and understanding is beyond us, and there's no way we would fully understand.
虽然我们不能够去探索它真正的起源，但是我们可以了解，这一切都是出于神的爱，神对人的照顾，定下这个节令，让我们今天在这个地上存活，可以享受他创造。
And although there's no way that we may truly understand the origin of how everything were created, but we know that He created everything out of love and to take care of us and to give us life on this earth.
所以今天这个宇宙这么复杂，但是我们今天活在这个地球上却能够享受这么有规律的节令季节，这个是真的是神来慈爱。
And so today the world is very complex, yet we can live on this earth with everything that is according to His place, like the seasons.
也是因为第4天之后，你看才有这个太阳光出现。
And it is only after the 4th day there is light from the sun.
第5天就是从
And on the
第
5th day,
20节到23节，
from 20 to 23.
那这个就是神创造海中的水族、空中的飞鸟。
God created the living creatures and the birds that fly above the ground and across the face of the waters.
他是把这些神所创造这些生物把它很简单的归类在海中的跟在空中的而已。
And it made a simple categorize the land creatures and the sea creatures.
因为圣经不会告诉我们说这个生物界是怎么分裂的，
Because the Bible is not to tell us how they are categorized.
因为它已经说明了这个海跟空气。
Because it has already explained the sky and the sea.
那在这个空中有哪些是神创造的？
And there are creatures that God created in the
在
sky.
海里面又有哪些水族是都是从神来的？
And there are sea creatures that are created
其实在说明
in
这
the waters.
当中所有的一切都是从神来的创造。
This is to tell us that everything is from Him.
所以我们现在就会发现，水里面还有很多很不同的生物，除了动物还有植物啊。
And so we know that in the waters there are not only creatures, there's also many plants.
但是这个要说明，所有的一切都是神创造来
And
的。
this is to explain that everything is from the Lord.
从20节开始
And starting from verse 24
到27节，
to verse 27.
这在说明神创造地上所有的活物。
And He is to create all living creatures on land.
24节说，地要生出活物来，各从其类，昆虫、牲畜、昆虫、野兽，各从其类，就这样成了。
And verse 24, bring forth the living creature according to its kind, cattle and thing and beasts of the earth, each according to its kind.
26节最后，神按照他自己的形象造了这些人。
And at last, in verse 26, God made man according to His likeness.
所以17节，神造人，乃是照着他的形象造男造女。
In verse 26, He had made man according to His image and His likeness.
这是第6天的创造，
And this is the creation on the 6th day.
这一切看的都是好的。
And everything He created, He saw it was good.
那我从28节开始，
And starting from verse 28.
28节基本上在说明这一切的神所创造这些活物都是神在养活他们。
And He is explaining that everything that is life that He had created, He gives them breath.
神29节到30节是在说明神把这些食物是给人享用。
And verse 29 to 30 explains that He gives food to man
然后神也养活了他所创造这一切。
and to everything that He has created.
然后第31节之后，
And verse 31,
神看着这一切所造都正好，有晚上有早晨，是第6日。
God saw everything that He had made. Indeed, it was very good. So the evening and morning were the 6th day.
2章的第2节就说神安息的，第3节就说这个就是这个叫圣日，所以第1天神安息。
In chapter 2, verse 2, He rested on the 7th day from His work, which He had done, and it was a holy day.
那这个就是整个创造在创世纪里面所描述出来的这整个过程。
And this is the entire description of God's creation in 6 days.
那这一切就是我们人是不是要用信心的脸说，如果相信的人就知道这个世界怎么来。
And man, we need to receive this with faith, and if we do, then we will understand how everything was created.
那如果不相信的人，就会去找很多的来源，到底这个宇宙怎么出现？
And for those who not believe, they would try many ways to find the origin of the earth.
今天我们如
And today, if we believe that there is God,
这一切就变得非常单纯。
then everything becomes very simple.
所以希伯来书第11章，
And so in Hebrews chapter 11,
希伯来书11章第3节，
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 3.
11章3节，我们因着信就知道诸世界是借着神的话造成的，这样所看见的并不是从显然之物造出来的。
Hebrews 11, verse 3 tells us that with faith, everything was created.
第3节读一下。
Hebrews chapter 11, verse 3.
这里在说明神他创造这世界呢，事实上是从无生有的，不是从有什么物质转变成另外一个物质。
Verse 3, By faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which are visible.
所以因着信，我们就知道这个世界怎么来。
And so by faith we understand where this world comes
我
from.
们就可以看到这个物质的世界，来对神发出我们内心的颂赞。
And by viewing this material world, we will give praise in our heart.
因为我们会发现这个世界太奇妙了，
Because we'll realize that this world is very
如果
miraculous.
没有神，没有这个伟大的神在掌管一切，今天这个美好的世界怎么能维持下去呢？
And without this Almighty God controlling everything, how can this world last?
好，那所以现在这个样神创造的这个过程为基础，我们回来看诗篇104篇。
And knowing that God had established this world, let's come back to study Psalm chapter 104.
来看诗人他怎么样用那个描述来赞美神。
And how the psalmist uses another way to praise the creation of God's
有
world.
时候我们你看，比如在读的故事，如果是用平铺直叙的方式在叙述一些事情，那个可能就看了会睡着。
And sometimes when we're reading story, if it uses a very direct way to describe it, then we sometimes may fall asleep.
但是如果用戏剧的写法，一个故事就写得非常的生动了。
But if it uses more of a way that
戏剧就是像表演一样。
that's like a play, then it is more interesting.
所以有时候，很多有些人呢，像他们喜欢把圣经的故事把它变成电影。
And so some people like to make the stories in the Bible into films.
那当在看电影有关于这个圣经的故事的时候，我们要很小心的，
And when we watch films that are about the stories in the Bible, we have to be very
因
careful.
为有时候他们为了要表达那个戏剧效果会加油添醋，或者是删减一些他不觉得没有戏剧效果的部分。
Because sometimes to bring some semantic effect, it will add some things that are not in the Bible.
所以不要把这个电影演的当做是这样子。
So let's not assume that everything as a movie is correct.
一定要回到圣经去看它原始的描述。
And we must go back to the Bible to its original description.
好像诗篇104篇，他在讲这神的创造的时候，
And just like Psalm 104, when it describes God's
他
creation.
在描述的时候，他有时候用的就是诗歌的写法，
In its description, it uses the ways of a psalmist.
他强调的是某一部分而已，
It emphasizes only on a certain aspect.
但是他的意思就是在这样一个诗歌文词里面表达出来的。
And the meaning is relate to us with the ways of a
我们
psalmist.
现在看104篇的节，
And let's look at Psalm 104.
这位伟大的神，他披上亮光如披外袍，铺张穹苍如布幔子。
Verse 3. Verse 2. Who covers yourself with light as with a garment, who stretch out the heavens like a curtain.
我们看第6节，
And let's read verse
你
6.
用深水遮盖地面，犹如衣裳珠水高过山岭。
You cover with deep as with a garment, the waters stood above the mountains.
从第2节一直到第6节，基本上这跟创造的第1天跟第2天我描述的是造的。
And from verse 2 to 6, it correlates to the first day of God's creation.
神他说他披上亮光，像披外袍。
And here it says, God has covered himself with a garment.
当这位属灵的神，他是光，他是爱，他是灵，永远存的。
And when this God is light, he is eternal.
当他进入了这个时空里面，他创造，他进入这个世界的时候，
And when he enters into time and space, when he enters into this world,
就好像他披发亮外袍进入他所站的地方。
it is likened to himself clothed with light as with a garment.
他穿上这个发亮，黑暗就走。
That he has clothed himself with light as with a garment and cast away
再说
darkness.
明神是光神的话语光一进入这个世界就照这个光暗就分开。
And this explains light, and his word is also light, and when it enters into the world, it casts away the darkness.
他铺张穹苍，像铺幔子。
And here it says that he stretches out like the heavens, like a curtain.
那这穹苍就是我们所看到这个天，
And this heaven is the sky.
这个天就是神。你看第二天的时候，神把这个水把它分开，
And the sky was on the second day when it is divided.
就是空气跟天在第二天被造出来的。
And on the second day, the sky was created.
哦，所以光进来，天出现。
And when light entered, the heavens appeared.
在这个天里面，在这天里面，神用风做使者，以火焰为仆役。
And when the heavens appeared,
第4节，
in verse 4,
神用风当使者。
he ministers a flame of fire.
哦，那这个风意思是灵。
And this wind is a spirit.
所以这一句话在希伯来书第1章作者特别引用了。
And this verse, the author has used from Hebrews
希
1.
伯来书第1章第7节，
Hebrews chapter 1, verse 7.
论到使者，又说神以风为使者，以火焰为仆役。
And the English says, who spirits and his ministers a flame of fire.
在这个神的创造里面，有这个灵界受造物，这个是来供神的仆役，来传达神的信息的使者。
And they are created are to serve God.
这是我们看不见的，
And they are something that we cannot
因
see
为它是灵的。
because they are spirits.
我们人在这个物质世界里面，我们是看到是物质的东西，
And man in the material world can only see material things.
所以这个我们看到了这个神的创造远超过我们人眼见的这个部分。
And so we know that God's creation and everything is beyond our eyesight.
第104篇的第7节开始，
And in Psalm 104, verse 7
到第18节，
to verse 18,
这基本上在讲神第3天的创造，
explains the third day of God's
他
creation,
还在说明神用他的慈爱来养活这个万物。
that he uses his mercy and his grace to take care of everything that's in it.
因为第3让地出现，让海聚在那个水聚在一处，成为海。
Because on the third day, God let the dry land appear and gathered the waters to be sea.
神创造了所有的植物菜蔬，
God created all the vegetations and everything that is on the dry land.
那这植物菜蔬是有目的的，
And all these vegetations and herbs is
它是
for
为
a
他
purpose.
以后要创造人、牲畜、这些水族所有的活物来预备这个环境的。
And it is prepared as food for man that he will create later on.
我们看第9节，
And let's look at verse 9.
我们看他说：“你定了界限，使水不能过去，不再转回遮盖地面。”
You have set a boundary that may not be passed over, that they may not return to cover the earth.
那神为水定界限，是因为第7节说：“你一斥责一发，哇，水退走了。”
And God sets a boundary because in verse 7, at his rebuke, they fled.
山就升起来，湖就沉下去了。
The waters stood above the mountains, and the mountains rose
那这个
up.
就是第3天，你看在创造神把这个地跟海分开了的过程。
And this correlates to the third day of God's creation when the dry land is separated from the sea.
第14节，
And verse 14,
他使草生长给6畜吃使菜蔬发长供人用，使人从地里能得食物。
he causes the grass to grow for the cattle and vegetation for the service of man, that he may bring forth food from the earth.
这一切你看都是神他养活人。
And everything that all his creation and the food that brings forth is for man.
那神对人的照顾无微不至的。
And God cares a lot for man.
所以你看，从第10节你就在讲，神让这个山谷有水，就养活了这些野鱼、天上的飞鸟。
And so in verse 10, he sends spring into the valley, and they flow and give drink to every beast of the
神既
field.
然神就是为了人，为了他所创造这些来预备所有的环境，让他们不用担心吃什么喝什么。
And since he created this world, he has prepared everything, all that is created.
我们今天在读福音书的时候，
And when we're studying the gospel
我
books,
们看到主耶稣他这样在鼓励我们。
we can see how Jesus encouraged us.
马太福音第6章，
Matthew chapter 6.
马太福音第6章
Matthew chapter 6,
第25节，
verse 25.
所以我告诉大家，为生命忧虑吃什么，喝什么，为身忧虑穿什么。
25. Therefore I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink,
说生命不胜于饮食吗？身体不胜于衣裳吗？
nor about your body, what you will put on. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing?
他说：“你看看天上的飞鸟，
And it says, look at the birds of the air,
你看看野地的百合花，
and look at the lilies of the valley,
这一切都是神养活他们的。
and everything that is there, God has taken care of them.
第30节，
And verse 30.
你们这小信的人呐、野地里的草今天还在，明天就丢在炉里，神还给他这样的装饰，何况你们呢？
Now if God so clothes the grass of the field, which today is and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, will he more clothe you, O you of little faith?
31节，
Verse
所
31.
以要忧虑说吃什么、喝什么、穿什么。
Therefore do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink?
这个就是主耶稣他在鼓励我们。我们今天只要看到神这个创造，我们就知道神原本的用意，他所设计出来的对人的爱。
And this is to encourage us when we look at God's creation, let's think about his original purpose, which is one of the reasons to take care of
有
man.
时候我们对这个未来充满忧虑，
And often we are full of
我们
worries.
都没有准备多少钱，我退休的时候就有危险。
We may think that if we do not prepare enough money, then what will we do when we retire?
我一个月如果赚多少钱，我可能日子就过不下去了。
And if I do not make this much money, then how could I survive?
我如果没有什么，我就可能怎样了？
And if I don't have this and that, then what would I have?
但这一些其实都是不认识的人他们所忧虑的。
But everything that is someone who does not know God.
因为如果我们相信神，我们也认识这位神，用他的慈爱创造这一切，为我们来存活。
And if we know God and we understand that He has created everything according to His love and mercy,
我就不用
and for
担
our
心了。
survival, then we would not worry.
因为32节说，
Because in verse 32,
这都是外邦人
it
所吃
states,
的，你们需用这一切东西，你们恋物是知道的。
For after the Gentiles seek, for your heavenly Father knows that you need all these things.
33节，
33.
你们要先求他的国、他的义，这些东西都要加给你们的。
But seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these will be added to you.
今天如果我们是认识神、对神有信心的人，
And today, if we are a person who knows God and who has faith in
我
God,
们也知道这一切都是神美好的创造，
then we know that everything is according to His wonderful purpose.
那我们就不会为
Then we will not worry about
我
tomorrow,
们会照主耶稣这里所说的，先求神的国、神的义，
and we will do what is stated here to seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness.
也就是说，我们要去了解、去查好自己，我是不是敬畏神，是不是在遵行神吩咐。
And we need to understand and reflect if we are following His commands and if we fear God.
我是不是尊重这个创造主做我的神和王？
If we fear God and view Him as our King.
我是不是在遵守他所对我吩咐这一切？我人应该尽的本分。
And do I keep all that commandments that He has given me and follow the duty of men?
如果我照着神的吩咐，对他的信心这样子来敬畏他，
And if I have followed His commandments and have faith in Him,
那这一切就不用担心，
then we do not need to worry about any of
因为
this.
神的创造里面已经安排了这样的机制，他就是要养造这每一个生物。
Because according to God's creation, His plan, it is to take care of everything that is created.
我们都是对人，
And we are all people who have faith in
我
God.
们越观察神的所创造这一切，我们就都越有信心。
And more that we observe God's creation, the more faith we will have in Him.
我们的生活里面就充满平安。
And in our life, we'll be full of peace.
好，我们可以看回来诗篇104篇，
And let's come to Psalm 104,
从19节开始
starting from verse 19
到24节，
to 24.
在说明 神创造了这些天体来管理昼夜。
And this describes the lights that he has created to govern the world.
这个就是第4天的创造。
And this is the 4th day.
第19节说：“你安置月亮，为定节令，日之承诺。”
19, he appointed for seasons. The sun knows it's going down.
你看今天3月21号，昨天3月20号，这个时候就是春分的时候了。
And today, March 21st. Yesterday was March 20th, and it is the equinox.
这个时候昼夜平分。
And this is when the day and the light are equal in time.
从今天开始，渐渐的白天就变长了。
And starting from today, they will become longer and longer.
那我们很多人，古时候人，他们都是看月亮来知道这个节气的。
And people in the old time tell its season.
真的，这个月亮特别创造，地球人就这么一个卫星啊。
And truly, the moon is God's special creation, and there's only one moon.
要让我们在这个世界上生活的时候，有这样那么有秩序的季节。
So that the season and everything is in its order.
这个就是神的爱。
And this is the love of God.
那这个宇宙穹苍是伟大。
And this world is great, and it is.
那让当时候大卫他发出赞叹。
It is so great that David he praised God.
我们看49篇。
Let's look at Psalm 19.
19篇。
Psalm 19.
第1节。
Verse 1.
19篇第1节，诸天述说神的荣耀，穹苍传扬他的手段。
The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows His handiwork.
这日到那日发出言语，这夜到那夜传出知识。
2. Day unto day uttered speech, and night unto night revealed knowledge.
他说：“无言无语，也无声音可听。”
And he said, "No speech nor language, where their voice is not heard."
这个美丽的世界，默默的在颂赞神。
And this beautiful world is praising God in its own ways.
按照他这个固定的时间呢，照着神的这个旨意定期运转，在述说神的伟大。
And according to its time, everything is rotating and happening in order, and they are praising the mightiness of God.
那神用月亮、用日头的这个升落来定出昼跟夜。
And God uses the sun and the moon to separate day and night.
是要让这个万物的作息都有规律。
And it is to give everything that is on earth a life.
让神所爱这些人呢得到保护。
And that the man God had created will be protected.
我们如果看回来104篇，
And if we look back to Psalm 104,
第20节，
verse 20.
他说：“你造黑暗为夜，林中的百兽都爬出来了。”
You make darkness, and it is night, in which all the beasts of the forest creep about.
22节，
Verse 22.
日头出来，兽就躲避了，就卧在洞里面了。
When the sun rises, they gather together and lie down in their dens.
23节，
Verse 23.
日头出来，人就出去工作，劳碌，直到晚上就回来休息了。
Man goes out to his work and his labor until the evening.
就看到，当太阳出来，野兽去休息，人出来工作，人不会受野兽的伤害。
And you can see that in the evening, beasts come out, and when the sun rises, they go back to their dens, and men come back to work.
等到
They will not be harmed.
等到夜晚来临的时候，人回来休息，野兽出去去寻找食物。
And when evening comes, the beasts will appear again, and men will rest.
这就看到神为人所定出来的作息的规律。
And this shows the life God has made for men.
所以通常晚上的时候比较危险。
And so that's why at night it is more dangerous for
为什么
us.
现在年轻人往往喜欢晚上的时候活动？
But oftentimes young people like to go out at night.
白天的时候没有精神睡觉，
And in day they will have no energy and they will sleep.
等到晚上的时候就生龙活虎了，就出去了，
And in evening they are full of energy and they leave home.
寻找食物，寻找刺激，寻找各种方面的他想要的。
And they go out to find food, to find excitement, and to find what they want.
但结果就是跟神所设定的这个规相反。
But in the end it is the routine that God set for
很
us.
多的坏事都在晚上的时候发生了。
And so a lot of bad things happen at night.
那所以呢，我们真的要回到神他所设定的这个规律里面来生活，来得到神保护。
And so we must return to the routine that God has set for us so we may be protected.
所以神造这个光体，它就是为了要让人能够得到神的祝福，也能够在这个神的规律里面让你的生能够发旺然后来彰显神的荣耀。
So God has created a light to protect us, and so that light may prosper.
所以我们每个人如果能神也能看出神的这个作为是如神的创造，那我们已经得福气。
So if we to fear God and we understand His creation, then we will be blessed.
从第25节开始。
And starting 5.
24节24节说
24.
神你所造的何其多，都是你用智慧造成的。
Works and wisdom you have made them all.
我们最近如果在看最近科学发现，我们在因为这个望远镜的精进呢，很多发现好多新的银河系，很多以前看不到的宇宙的现象。
And if we listen to the recent news, a lot of scientists through telescopes have discovered new constellations.
真的，神的创造何其多！
And it is truly that God has created.
这些我们所看到的光，是这么远以前，这么长的距离里面现在让我们接受到的。
How manifold are His works, and that now we are able to understand and see the light stars so far away.
神的创造永远超过我们所能够了解的。
And His creation will always be beyond our
这还是
understanding.
在我们所看到这个物质世界而已。
And this is only in the material world that we can
那我
see.
们想想，在我们肉眼看不见的这属灵的世界，到底又有多复杂呢？
And when we think about the spiritual realm that we cannot see, how much more complicated
这个
it
就
can
是神
be.
为什么他是伟大的神。
And this is why God is a majestic God.
从25节开始
And starting from verse
到
25
26节，
to verse 26,
再说明在这个又大又广的海里面，有神所创造无数的动物了。
explains that in the vast sea, great and wide sea that He had created, there are innumerable teeming
这个
things.
都是第5天的创造。
And this is the creation on the fifth day.
在第5天里面特别强调这个里面有一个大海怪。
And on fifth day, especially make note of this monster.
第26节我们中文翻译成鳄鱼。
And 26 in Chinese translation, it translates alligator.
因为在当时候在翻中文的人能够想到最可怕的大概就是鳄鱼了。
Because in the time when they translated the Bible into Chinese, the most fearful creature they can think of is probably a
但是
alligator.
这个巨大的在海里面的这个神的创造物呢，在国记里面，在诗篇里面都重复出现过。
But this enormous creature that God has created has appeared in Job as well as in Psalms.
那这个大海怪神就把它创造在海里面，当做它的游泳池啊。
And this enormous creature that God's created, He has set the sea as His swimming pool.
那这个海里面人是把船放在上去玩呢。
And man has set ships on the sea to play.
那有时候碰到这个大海怪的时候，不能够怪这些大海怪啊，
And sometimes when they meet these enormous creatures, they cannot blame
因
them.
为神本来就把这个大海怪放在那里面的，是他住的地方。
Because God has placed them at that place, and it is where they live.
第5天，神创造水里面的水族跟空中的飞鸟，他就没有提空中飞鸟了。
So on the fifth day, God has created all the creatures are in the sea, and He did not mention creatures in the sky.
然后从27节开始，
And starting from verse 27,
27节，这都仰望你按时给他食物，你给第28，他们就拾起来，你知道得美食了。
and 28, what you give them, they gather in. You open your hand, they are filled with good.
那其实这一段在说明神养活一切。
And this section tells us that God gives life to all.
从21节看到24节，我们看到这狮子、这人都是神的创造，是第6天的创造。
And from verse 21 to 24, it is the creation on the sixth day.
那每一个生命都是神给他创造，然后一定会养活他。
And all that is alive, God has given them breath and given them food to live.
神是这一切生命的掌握者。
And God is He controls everything on this earth.
29节
And verse 29.
你掩面，他们就惊惶；你收他们的气，他们就死亡，归于尘土。
You hide your face, they're troubled. You take away their breath, they die and return to their dust.
30节，你发出你的灵，他们便受造，你使地面更换为新。
Forth your spirit are created, and you renew the face of the earth.
这一节，特别是第30节，特别在说明我们今天这些活物，我们人是怎么受造的。
Especially verse 31, it tells us how we are created.
我们这是神的那一口气吹进来，我们才跟这个动物不一样了。
We are the breath of God that breathed into us. That's why we're different from all the other creatures of this earth.
所有受造物都是因着神的这个能力加在身上。
And all that are created come from the power of God.
其实最简单的生命都是那么怎么样？
Even the most simple living thing is very
我们今天
miraculous.
人体太奇妙了。
And today our human body is miraculous.
我们多少这些医生、这些研究员在研究我们人的生命现象。
There are so many doctors and researchers trying to find out about the human body.
永远没办法了解
And they can never truly
我们人的
comprehend
脑子构造之奇妙。
how the brain is created
我
and
们
formed.
今天还有好多未知的这个事实存在的。
And there are so many facts and things that we have yet to
所
discover.
以从最远的到宇宙宏观无限的世界里，
And this universe and everything that's in it.
到我们最微小的我们人体每一个细胞生命的这个最基础的单元，
And to the smallest thing, the smaller thing of that's in our body and all the atoms,
每一项都是我们人的智慧
And
无法完全了解。
everything is something that man cannot truly
这个就是
comprehend.
神，他的灵一吹上去，这一切就成了。
And this happens as God breathes His breath and covers all.
这一切神的话造成了。
And everything was created according to His words.
这个就是神他的创造。
And this is the creation of God.
这6天创造结束以后，
And after the 6 days,
接下来7天神就安息。
on the 7th day, He rested.
所以第31节，
So in verse 31,
愿神的荣耀存到永远，愿神喜悦自己所造的。
may the glory of the Lord endure forever. May the Lord rejoice in His works.
从35节到31节、35节，基本上这在说明神第7天安息了。
And from verse 31, it explains that God has rested.
真的，神他说，人的创造他已经远超过我们人所描述的了。
And God's creation and His glory is beyond our words.
他现在说，愿神喜悦他自己所造的。
And that may the Lord rejoice in His works.
创世纪第1章一直在重复强调，神创造每一天，他都说看这是好的。
And Genesis 1, after God has created something every day, He emphasized that He saw it was good.
等到第6天创造了人以后，一切都完成以后，神说看这一切极其美好。
And on the 6th day, after God had created man, He saw that everything was good.
然后第7天他就安息，
And on the 7th day, He rested.
然后神就赐福给这一天。
And God blessed this day.
这是为什么安息日是神绝对的日子，
Sabbath day is the day of the
这
Lord.
是人没有权利去改变的。
And this is something that man cannot change.
所以安息日就是神赐福的，是我们人得福的一个最简单的途径。
So Sabbath day is the easiest way for man to receive blessings from God.
每一个愿意遵守安息日的人，绝对不会缺少福气，
The Sabbath will be blessed and nothing will fall short.
因为他在创造世界之初所定下的规律。
Because this is a law that He has set in the beginning of when the world was created,
要让凡愿意遵守的人得福的。
that all those who follow Him may be blessed.
看回来创世纪2章
Let's turn to Genesis chapter 2,
第3节，
verse 3.
2章3节。神赐福给第7日，定为圣日，因为在这日，神歇了他一切创造的功，就安息。
Verse 3. Then God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because in it He rested from all His work which God had created and made.
这个伟大神，他定了这日子，有谁有那个权利或者胆敢去改变呢？
And this Almighty God who has sanctified and blessed the Sabbath day, and who has the authority to change it.
为什么神要安息？
And why is it that God rests?
神安息要让他所造的人 能够看着他的做法来跟从，来得福。
So that man whom he created can see and view his creation.
所以是为人设立的。
So the day of rest, Sabbath, is made for man.
神先创造人以后，
After God has created man,
然后把安息日赐给人，
he has given man the
让人
Sabbath,
可以在这一天休息，然后得福。
so that man rests on this day and be blessed.
今天我们看完了诗篇第104篇，
And so today, after we have read Psalm 104,
我们一定会像神这样子发出同样的颂赞。
we will be like the psalmist and have the same kind of praise.
104篇的35节、33节，
Psalm verse 33.
我要一生向神唱诗，我还活的时候要歌颂。
I will sing to the Lord as long as I live. I will sing praise to my God while I have my being.
这样的一个神的创造，他定下这个规律，如果我们愿意遵守，我们就得福。
And this Lord who has created everything, if we followed his commands, then we'll be
我们就能够享受神所安排这一切美好的。
Then we'll be able to enjoy everything that he has made.
我们会觉得，在这个神的规律底下，我们人很幸福。
And we will feel that under his creation, we are very blessed.
最后，在第35节，他在说
And in the last verse, verse 35, it states,
说：“愿罪人从世上消灭，愿恶人归。”
May sinners be consumed from the earth and the wicked be no more.
你看他在整篇诗篇里面都在歌颂神的伟大哦。
And the entire psalm, he is praising God's almightiness.
但是最后的时候，他突然话那个人一定消灭。
But in the end, there is a great contrast, and it says that sinners be consumed from the earth and wicked be no more.
那谁是恶人？哪些人是罪人呢？
And who are the sinners and the wicked?
今天如果说神不存在的，圣经说这个叫做愚昧人，叫恶人。
And today, God said that those who do not,
圣经说了，
the Bible says,
我们看诗篇14篇，
let's look at Psalm 14.
14篇
Psalm 14,
1节，
verse 1.
愚顽人心里说没有神，他们都是邪恶，行了可憎恶的事，没有一个人行善。
The fool has said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works, and there is none who does good.
这里这些愚顽人，这些恶人说没有神，
And the fool in his heart said, there is no God.
他不会去尊重神，也不会去行神所欲行的。
He does not fear God, and he does not follow the commands he has set in place.
这个叫做恶人。
And this is a wicked man.
所以今天我们如果看这个神伟大的创造，这个奇妙宇宙万物，
And so today, if we look at his creation and the universe that he has made,
如果我们不知道向神来歌颂赞美，
if we do not praise God of his creation,
我们如果不会看明神在这当中所安排出来的要我们人遵行的法则，
and if we do not follow the commandments and the laws that he has set in place,
我们不知道人定下这安息日的重要，要让得福的这个恩典，
if we do not know the importance of Sabbath,
那这样子我们很有可能就像这里诗篇所说的，他说愿这些人都灭亡。
then we may possibly be like what it described here, let them be consumed from the earth.
也就是说，人没有尊重神，那就是从世人角度来看，就是实在是没有资格活在这个世界上。
And when men do not fear God, in the view of the psalmist, they are unworthy to live on this earth.
所以我应当将神所当得的荣耀归给他。
So we must give the glory that belongs to him.
让我们都能够用一个敬畏的心来歌颂赞美这样伟大圣神。
And that we may praise God with all heart.
我们最后来看诗篇29篇。
And lastly, let's look at Psalm chapter 29.
29篇
Psalm 29,
1节，
verse 1.
神的众子啊，你们要将荣耀能力归给神，归神。
Give unto the Lord, all you mighty ones, give unto the Lord glory and strength.
第2节，
Verse 2.
要将神的名所当得的荣耀归给他，以圣洁的装饰来敬拜神。
Give unto the Lord the glory due to his name. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness.
愿我们一起来向神歌颂，你真伟大。
And let's all praise God and his mightiness.
用我们一个圣洁谦卑的心来敬拜他。
and use a holy and humble heart to worship Him,
让神的荣耀、神的能力加在我们身上。
so that His glory may be unto
我们
us.
来唱诗
Let's sing Him
474首，
474.
474。